Hello everyone and welcome to the SBI Securities Weekly Wrap podcast. So first, let's discuss how the markets have been in the week gone by. The domestic market amid a truncated week ended on a flat note. Nifty and Sensex were up by 0.2% and 0.3% week on week respectively. The BSE Midcap Index ended 0.2% lower while the Small Cap Index gained 1.4% week on week respectively. Global cues during the week were largely mixed and hence domestic cues like MSP hike, monsoon progress, bulk and block deals have kept market largely sector and stock specific. The investors continued to evaluate the recent economic data and commentary from Federal Reserve officials to determine the timing of interest rate cuts this year. Accenture's 3Q FY24 earnings supported the IT stocks as the revenue of the company was reported slightly above the midpoint of the guided range, while annual guidance was revised to 1.5% to 2.5% versus 1% to 3% earlier. The monsoon progress so far has been slightly disappointing as the deficit so far has been at 17% till 28 June as per IMD. Southern India is the only region recording excess rainfall of 13%. Aspects to look out during the next week are: next week, the US Housing Price Index, weekly jobless claims data, and Q1 personal consumption expenditure will be the key data points to be tracked. Additionally, the GST Council meeting outcome is also expected to be closely watched by the investors. In absence of any significant news from domestic and international fronts, we expect market activity to be largely sector stock specific. Talking about the weekly sectoral gainers and losers on BSE. The sectoral indices ended on a mixed note. BSE Bankex, IT, Metal and Realty were the biggest sectoral gainers with weekly gains of 3.2%, 1.9%, 0.4% and 0.3%. Whereas BSE Power, Consumer Durable, PSU, Healthcare, FMCG, Cap Goods, Oil and Gas and Auto declined 1.1%, 1.2%, 1.3%, 1.4%, 1.9%, 2%, 2.5% and 2.7% respectively. Talking about the weekly Nifty 50 gainers and losers. The top gainers in Nifty 50 during the week were ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, Adani Ports and Kotak Mahindra Bank, while top Nifty 50 losers were Hero MotoCorp, Ultratech Cement, Maruti Suzuki India, L&T and Bajaj Auto. Now let's take a check on some key monitorable. For the week, both FIIs and DIIs net bought to the tune of rupees 14,786.9 crores and 9,574.9 crores. Brent crude increased 3.5% week on week to $85.54 per barrel during the week. US 10-year bond yield remains stable at 4.233. Moving on to key domestic and international economic news. So first one we have is loan prime rates unchanged in China. So the People's Bank of China kept the benchmark 1 year and 5 year loan prime rates unchanged at 3.45% and 3.95% respectively, in line with estimates. Second, Bank of England maintains key lending rates. So the Bank of England voted 7:2 in favor of maintaining benchmark interest rates at 5.25%. BOE's stance contrasts with recent moves by the European Central Bank ECB, which began easing rates earlier this month and diverges from the expectations surrounding the US Federal Reserve, which is projected to delay rate cuts until later in the year. Moving on to corporate developments. So the first one we have is RVNL. The company has emerged as the lowest bidder for a project worth rupees 160 crores from East Coast Railway. So positive for RVNL in long term. Second one we have is Time Technoplast, where the company has received the final approval from PESO for manufacturing of Type 4 composite cylinder for hydrogen. So positive for the company in medium to long term. JNK India. The company received a mega order from Reliance Industries for gas cracker unit GCU debottlenecking DBN project at RIL's Nathogen manufacturing division. So positive for the company in long term. Bharat Forge. The company made an additional investment of USD 40 million in Bharat Forge America. So overall neutral to positive for the company in long term. Jubilant Pharmovas. So the US-based arm to voluntarily prepay a term loan worth rupees 626 crore, and the company's arm to invest USD 50 million to expand its radio pharmacy network in US. So positive for the company in short term. Interglobe Aviation, the company amended its existing pact with Pratt & Whitney affiliate International Aero Engines IAE to give compensation to the company for the unavailability of engines. So overall positive for the company in short to medium term. Rights. The company has signed a MOU with Damodar Valley Corporation for innovation in rail infrastructure. So neutral to positive in short term. Sona BLW. The company received certification for its traction motor for electric three-wheelers under the PLI scheme. So overall positive for the company in short to medium term. Indian Oil Corporation. The company entered into a joint venture with GPS Renewables for sustainable energy solutions. So overall neutral to positive for the company in short term. Sun Pharmaceutical Industries. The company received a warning letter from the US FDA for the Dadra facility. The US FDA warning letter summarizes current good manufacturing practice regulations. So overall negative for Sun Pharma in short term. Brigade Enterprises. The company has signed an agreement to develop the third tower of the World Trade Center at Info Park, Kochi. So positive for the company in medium to long term. GE Power. The company received a letter of intent from NTPC GE Power Services Private Limited for rupees 243 crores. So positive for the company in short term. Tata Motors. So the company's UK subsidiary JLR increased its planned 5-year investment by GBP 3 billion to GBP 18 billion. The investment will be deployed for flex fuel, internal combustion engine hybrid models and battery electric vehicles. So positive for Tata Motors in long term. Axis Bank. The company and its subsidiaries approved raising stake in Max Life Insurance to 19.99% from previous 19.02% with a cash deal worth rupees 336 crores. So overall neutral to positive for Axis Bank in long term. Now moving on to the order inflows during the week. So the following companies received the orders during the week. So first one we have is Larsen & Toubro, where it received multiple orders worth the order size of rupees 1000 to 2500 crores. Second one we have is NBCC India, where the company received order size of rupees 70 crores from the client Grid Controller of India. Next, Retail Corporation of India, where the company received 20 crores order size from South Central Railway. Gensol Engineering, where the company received an order of 250 megawatts from Gujarat Urja Vikas Nigam. And Emco Elecon India, where the company received an order size of rupees 33 crores from the Singareni Collieries Company. Now moving on to the pick of the day, which is one of our product where we have provided a buy call on Indus Tower at a CMP of rupees 334.6 with a target price of rupees 385. So Indus Towers is a merged entity between Bharti Infratel and Indus Towers. This combined strength makes Indus Tower one of the largest telecom tower companies in the world. Indus Tower Limited has over 2,19,736 towers and 3,68,588 co-location as on 31st March 2024 and a nationwide presence covering all 22 telecom circles. So talking about this key growth driver, so there is a supportive government policy for this sector, when in September 2021, the government approved telecom reforms with non-telecom revenues being excluded from the AGR computation on a prospective basis. This will help in 80% reduction in the license fee. For future spectrum auctions, no bank guarantee is required. Tenure for the future spectrum auctions is also extended to 30 years from 20, while surrender is allowed after 10 years. The deployment of 5G infrastructure and rollout of 5G services have been progressing rapidly. The top two operators have launched 5G services in more than 500 cities and are planning to complete the urban coverage in India over the next 3 to 6 months. Vodafone Idea too is now looking to expand its 4G and 5G coverage, having raised substantial equity capital in the last few months. So this is likely to improve the tendency for Indus Towers in FY25. Talking about its valuation, at current price, the stock is trading at 14 times and 12.5 times of its FY25-26 consensus Bloomberg earnings. Moving on to our next product pick of the week, where we have provided two buy calls. So the first one is PNB Housing Finance Limited at a CMP of rupees 848.3 with a target price of rupees 975.5. So PNB Housing Finance Limited is the third largest third largest housing finance company in the country with a well diversified resource profile. It is engaged in retail loans, that is housing loans for construction, purchase, repair and upgradation of houses, loan against property (LAP), non-residential premise loans and LRD, loans to individuals, and wholesale loans, that is corporate term loans, corporate finance and LRD. It has an outstanding AUM of rupees 71,243 crores as of March 24. Now talking about its key growth driver, so shifting focus towards is affordable housing. So the company has started focusing on affordable and emerging market verticals since last year from a prime based lending approach. The affordable housing segment now contributes around 12% of the disbursement. Further, the company has guided for loan growth of 17% for FY25 with increased focus on affordable and emerging segments. Talking about its valuation, at the current price, the stock is trading at a price to book value multiple of 1.3 and 1.2 times of its FY25-26 Bloomberg consensus earning estimate. Second one, we have given a buy call on Venus Pipes and Tubes Limited at a CMP of rupees 2,100 with a target price of rupees 2,415, 2415. So Venus Pipes and Tubes Limited is a manufacturer and exporter of stainless steel pipes and tubes. The company is manufacturing stainless steel tube products in two broad categories: seamless tubes pipes and welded tubes pipes, under which 5 categories of products are manufactured, namely stainless steel high precision and heat exchanger tubes, stainless steel hydraulic and instrumentation tubes, stainless steel seamless pipes, stainless steel welded pipes and stainless steel box pipes. Talking about its key growth drivers, where the company has given a volume growth guidance for FY25 and FY26, where it expects 30% volume growth on back of demand in oil and gas, railways, food processing industries. It won a contract from an EPC contractor in semiconductor from US and Middle East market. It expects seamless to contribute 40 to 43% and welded to contribute 57 to 60% to total revenue going forward. Second one we have is upcoming capacity expansion. Talking about the phase 1, where it is setting up a value added fittings and welded tubes where a capex of rupees 115 crores is going to be incurred. The project is expected to be completed by March 25. And phase 2, where the company is setting up value added fittings, welded seamless pipe tubes, and a capex of rupees 65 crore is expected to be incurred, and the project completion is expected by December 25. Talking about the valuation, at the current price, the stock is trading at 21.7 times and 15.9 times of its FY25-26 EV by EBITDA based on Bloomberg consensus estimates. Moving on to the corporate actions for next week. So for key corporate actions in the next week, kindly refer to our weekly wrap report. The link to view the report is shared in the description box below. So this was all about the weekly market podcast. Thank you for listening.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.